CJ Stroud continues to bomb the greater NFL with trash talk.
Mm-hmm.
Stroud was very, very fun on his visit with the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. We have still plenty left to react to that we'll probably do the next couple of days. Specifically, CJ Stroud and Tank Dell talking about what Tank Dell went through earlier this offseason. But Stroud is not backing down from the Indianapolis Colts, who, of course, played the Houston Texans down to the wire, stopped on a 4th down and short in that key Saturday game where the Houston Texans actually clinched a playoff spot and ultimately the AFC South. There's a podcast called The Trenches. It is the Indianapolis Colts podcast featuring Zaire Franklin and E.J. Speed. And we've played on this show before audio from that podcast where the two will compliment CJ Stroud, but also trash talk CJ Stroud. Specifically, there was a moment where Zaire Franklin said that CJ Stroud was talking some trash to him during the offseason. Stroud pushed back saying, I don't remember that to be real. I think I was just talking on some cool stuff or off the field. I'm not really tripping. I don't think he was exaggerating. So Stroud's not sure if he said what he said, but he's trying to throw a little bit of plausible deniability on top of whatever trash talk he was supposedly saying about the Indianapolis Colts. But he did not like hearing E.J. Speed say, quote, I'm going to mess CJ up for the rest of his career. Here is CJ Stroud's response to that on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast.
But like my boy EJ Speed, but it's a ton of dudes. It's not just EJ. He with my agent, and I tell him this to his face. I don't even tripping. But like a lot of dudes come to these podcasts, like, oh yeah, I'm coming to hit. I'm gonna hit CJ in his face. I'm gonna get him next year. Why don't you do something? Like where I'm from, we say, why ain't you ain't do something where you was mad at? You was mad right there, my. Do something. Right. You could have made hella plays, bro. You could have made plays, dog. Right. You could have shut me up right there, but you didn't.
Right.
So what make you think you gonna do it now? And if you do, I'm gonna come back, bro, for real. I feel like this ain't for no play, bro. I'm on, like, come on, man.
Got him in that mode.
Got me going. But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
this is the mode I've been waiting to get.
Like, I'm gonna slam CJ on his head. Like.
Man.
You should have did that then, bro.
Right.
Now we're going to have another opportunity, and we played them first game of the year. I'm excited. The Colts. We play them after they play. It's going to be rocking. Indy hates me already, and I love it. So
it's playful trash talk. It's fun trash talk. And I like the way that CJ does it. The thing is, there's so few quarterbacks that are willing to engage in this kind of back and forth.
He better win this year.
So you don't like this?
I don't.
Come on, say it. You don't like it. If you're responding like that, you don't like it.
It's so much. He is all about CJ right now.
CJ Stroud loves him some CJ Stroud. You said this before.
He's got to win. Like if you don't win, all of this looks awful.
He'll be held against him, sure.
Yeah, it's just.
It's a long career, though, that's ahead of him.
For sure, but like we give players grief for doing too many HEB commercials when they don't perform well. Like
they're getting paid for it. I wouldn't.
No, I know, but many people do. Like if an Astros player is not doing well and they're in all these HEB commercials, like it's just
he might find this out the hard way, like so many young players, that the more that you talk, the more this can be used against you.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Joel Embiid in the past. We're seeing it to an extent now with Anthony Edwards. When you are at your bottom, wherever that is, this stuff gets thrown back in your face. I still like a guy who does this, especially if this guy happens to be the quarterback of a team that I'm going to be going to 10 games at Energy Stadium.
I mean, I do love the confidence. Like, and first of all, he's right too. Like, the retroactive, I'm going to get that guy is stupid. Like he's right. You had a chance to get me.
Yeah.
You didn't do it. Like you lost that game in the end. I do think it's kind of nice that there's a, this rivalry kind of brewing a little bit with CJ and the Colts, because it's one thing with the Texans that I think is missing. Like there's not that signature game or games during the season that like you're really looking forward to every year. It's not like Yankees Astros. Like those games mean a little bit more to the fans. So I'm kind of hoping that we're headed in this direction, that Colts Texans is going to have meaning. But it's a lot of talk, man. Like, and you gotta back it up.
I agree that backing it up would be optimal, but at the same time, I like that he's doing it. Mm-hmm. This is no different than how these guys talk on the field. Again, I didn't play the NFL. I'm just saying on Saturday, when I go play football with those guys, there is so much trash talk being thrown around.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of people, when you play football, like that's just natural. Why not bring it off of the field? What, you got to act like a gentleman? You're an athlete.
No. I don't think he needs to do that. Like be you. Like, but it's funny. Like, just like listening to CJ.
He's authentic.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Well, it's brought up on the Twitch. Junior Broncos is saying CJ is not fake like Justin Fields.
I don't even know what I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, from all accounts, the way that Fields acts publicly and versus privately, there's a lot of that slander stuff going on now that he's left the Chicago Bears, but supposedly two totally different guys.
Yeah, I mean that's it's, but that's what his teammates say. Like we don't know. I guess this is what CJ's like behind the scene. Cool.
Yeah, we talked about it before where when someone asks CJ Stroud a question, like he doesn't do the what's the right answer, what's the normal quarterback, let me say something.
It's on me. We've got to take things a game at a time, a day at a time as a team.
Let me give the Russell Wilson, Brock Osweiler answer. It's like, no, CJ Stroud
competing.
CJ Stroud doesn't do that. CJ Stroud gives what CJ Stroud thinks every single time. And yeah, when you have a year like he did last year, you're going to be invited on a lot of podcasts in the offseason. And he's keeping that same energy at all times. I do agree with Joe, though. It puts a lot of pressure on you. And this is probably something he's been doing his entire life. He probably, in high school, was talking at all the high school Elite 11 camps and all that stuff, and you would have to play those guys in college, and he backed it up then. You just got to do it. Like, it just puts pressure on you.
But this happens all game long. I don't see why it's different not during a game.
It's not as different as when it's not during a game. It's just like if you don't.
It normally just stays.
Win.
It also just normally stays in the game, and then now it's going to be public. And
Yeah.
so now, if the Colts beat the Texans twice, like they were very close to doing last year, now E.J. Speed and Zaire Franklin are gonna have a parade on their podcast.
They're rightfully gonna dunk on you.
Yeah,
No doubt.
You're opening yourself up for a lot of public scorn.
Yeah, but if you're C.J. Stroud and you think you're C.J. Stroud, then I mean, why would you care? Because you don't think that's going to happen.
Well, that's true too. Like he clearly, and he shouldn't have any doubt that they're going to just roll the Colts this year. It doesn't mean they will, but you want your quarterback to have the mindset that he can say whatever he wants because they're going to back it up on the field.
Yeah. More from C.J. Stroud. He also talked about an incident in a game against the Carolina Panthers where someone talked some trash to him in the middle of the game. And Stroud, much like he did against that Denver Broncos guy that got in his face in the Texans-Broncos game last year, stood on his business. Wait, stood on business. Is that how the kids say it? C.J. Stroud
stood on business.
He stood on business. Here he is explaining it.
So we playing the Panthers, bruh, and it's 4th and 1 on the goal line. We call it a QB sneak. I sneak it in, and mind you, I'm already hot because the Panthers ain't draft me. So I'm like, all right, like I like to show these cats.
Yeah.
And like for some reason we just ain't really we didn't mesh for that day. Like I only threw for like 140 yards, like lowest in my career. It was crazy. So and they was a nothing. But so I sneak it in. I throw the ball. Bitch, I'm talking to the crowd, going crazy. And then bruh came and he was like, CJ, you ain't even like that. This one of the, I don't even know bro name. You ain't even like that.
Safety?
You ain't even like that. Yeah, he was a safety.
Number 40 something.
Yeah, 42. And
He was talking crazy.
Titus like, why your side tooth missing? And bruh hold like his grill was gone. I was like, oh.
Did he come back after that?
No, he shut up. He didn't shut down the rest of the game.
So he ran over this safety, knocked his helmet sideways, perhaps knocked his grill out.
I just think it's funny when he's just like doesn't even know who he is.
Why would you? I think it was
You're
42.
playing.
Yeah, just
Hey, Tank got the number right.
Yeah. He doesn't even know every single player in the NFL.
Yeah.
Some dude on the Panthers. Sorry-ass team.
Now, to go with what you guys were saying a little bit earlier, that number 42 on the Panthers, who won that game?
The Panthers.
Panthers
Number
won that
42
game.
did.
Number 42 did.
Single-handed.
That is the first time we've ever heard CJ publicly, I think, acknowledge that he's pissed he wasn't drafted by the Panthers.
I think so as well.
Because like I didn't hear that part of the quote originally when it was going around on social media, so that kind of like stood out to me a little bit.
You're a competitor. And
yeah.
I mean, especially after this past season. I mean, I know he always talks up Bryce Young when he can and says he's not in the best situation, but I'm sure C.J. Stroud believes he's better than Bryce Young and believed he was better than Bryce Young. All these guys do. It's much like with basketball
He
players.
should just be thanking God that he didn't get drafted by the Panthers.
Yeah, maybe that's why he hasn't been super public with him. Like, man, the Panthers should have drafted me. He looks at the Panthers he's like, actually, I'm all right. I'm all right going.
And plus, you really only can get away with that like before training camp.
Correct.
Like once you get like what Adonai Mitchell wearing the number 10, like cheesy cornball. Like I don't get it, but whatever. You do you. You can be, I guess, Draymond Green. Like when he got to a certain point in his career, you can name like almost every player drafted ahead of him in the second round and in the first round.
Isn't Amon-Ra St. Brown one of those guys too?
Yeah.
I feel like he has a story where he can name like not every player because he's like a fourth round pick.
Tattooed them on his body.
I think that's why he's doing number 14. You think he got a tattoo?
Oh, it was the number 14. You're right. There's somebody else who I think like has
No, there is a tattoo story, but I don't.
We'll figure out that tattoo story on the other side.
We'll get to the bottom of
Some guys are very petty, and some guys are very motivated by anything. I mean, these athletes are all, in a way, psychos, the really successful ones. But it's nice to see C.J. Stroud is willing to actually share a little bit of that side of him with us publicly, at least for now. I hope it continues because it's great content. An interesting text from Honey Glazed Branham. My hot take. CJ is too Hollywood for Houston. Is from the LA area. When his rookie contract is up, he's going to go to the LA Rams if they don't have a franchise quarterback. Nothing against him, but I get Garrett Cole vibes. Wow, that is a piping hot, steamy CJ Stroud take, Honey Glazed Branham. One that I don't agree with.
Yeah, no shot. CJ Stroud will be a Houston Texan until at least the end of his second contract.
I believe that will be the case as well. He does have David Mulugheta. David Mulugheta is probably going to be able to get him a no-trade clause, much like he did with Deshaun Watson, that could theoretically give him leverage. Say Stroud wants to sit out and not play, but I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, but I have a hard time seeing CJ Stroud doing that to get his way.
Especially when he's already won a Super Bowl here. Why would he leave?
Whoa.
You don't think CJ Stroud's going to win a Super Bowl in his rookie contract?
I just wanted you to clarify what you said there.
Yeah, CJ Stroud's going to win a Super Bowl in his rookie contract.
I hope.
Joe George.
No, he's going to.
He's going to. Not even a going to, I hope. Okay.
Lock it.
Lock it.
Whoa.
Lock it in.
Damn.
I wish I had a lock soundbite.
One day. We'll just have it on standby.
Yeah, just for the next time you're locking in something.
I haven't done it yet. It's the first time for everything, you know?
Another texter said CJ's giving some Willie Beeman vibes, and I asked Sean during the commercial break if we could play the "My name is Willie Beeman," and then I realized that the second verse is too dirty to put on.
Yeah, you can't say it.
Yeah,
I was a little worried there that he was going to say like, we can't play it, but I'm just going to read it. Like,
I'll perform it.
You guys doubt me. Have I ever slipped up
Yes.
unintentionally?
You choke on your food.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, that's different.
You also, one time I mentioned, I forgot what player had a podcast. And I had said, oh, yeah, John Wall was on so-and-so's podcast. And you said, who the bleep is so-and-so?
Oh. To be fair, it was a good question.